Good morning and welcome to our 1 hour yoga practice. Today's practice is all about the heart. We're going to honor the heart because February is Heart Healthy Month. And what's something good that we can do for our heart? You guessed it, yoga. Yoga helps the heart because our poses and our breathing all help to de-stress. And when we de-stress, we can lower the levels of the hormone cortisol. So if you need some cortisol, but you need it balanced. So if you are stressed in your life, you can have high levels of cortisol, which can help you gain weight or even keep weight on. So we don't want that. So yoga can actually help you lose weight by lowering or bringing back into balance your levels of cortisol. We can also do some poses in yoga. So today is going to include a tiny bit of a cardio component. I know, crazy, right? Cardio in yoga? Yes, because it's not about jumping, although yes, of course it can be, but it doesn't have to be. So I have bare feet, just like I always do for yoga. There is no jumping, but we're going to work some big muscles so that the heart has to pump a little extra blood to those muscles to elevate our heart rates a tiny bit to get a little baby bit of cardio in today's practice. I'm wearing my Mardi Gras beads today because if you're watching me live, it is Mardi Gras. So happy Mardi Gras, back Tuesday, Shrove Tuesday. I'm wearing them now, but I'm going to take them off now as well because they're probably going to get in the way. So just want to be in the spirit. Now let's start with our hand gesture. Oh, by the way, props today, sorry. Props, you're going to need a chair. So I have a chair behind me, and I have it braced against the wall. You can do that, or you can put something heavy on the seat so it doesn't move. Make sure it doesn't have wheels. The other thing is we're going to do a few hands and knee poses, so if you need a cushion for your knees, grab a hand towel or a knee pad. Now let's start with our hand gesture. Placing your hands over your heart, relax the shoulders down, lift the ribcage up. Maybe close your eyes here and just tune in to your heartbeat. Plug into your heartbeat with your hands resting on your torso. Quiet your mind. Take one more breath cycle. And now open your eyes. Release your hands from your heart. Let's start with our spinal warm-up. Set up your mountain pose, Tadasana. Tennis ball distance between your big toes. Tall spine. Stack everything over the heels. Knees, hips, shoulders, ears. Draw your shoulder blades into your back pockets, palms facing forward, mountain pose. Now let's start with our spinal warm-up. Elongation. Inhale, scoop the air up and float the arms down. Go at your own pace today. If you want, you can add a little bend to the knees as you scoop the air and lift it up. Lifting the arms high above the head, stretching that spine, make space between the vertebrae. One more. And release, going into standing cat and cow. Exhale, round your back, tuck the chin. Inhale, reverse the curve, pinch a pencil between your shoulder blades. Go at your own pace again. Inhaling and exhaling, standing cat, standing cow. And these two motions are flexion and extension. Mobilizing the spine. Do one more pair, cat and cow. And then release to stand tall. Lateral flexion. Separate your feet just a tiny bit wider than your hips so you have a larger platform, a larger foundation so you don't tip over. And let's start by tilting to the right. Place your right hand on the right thigh, left hand to the sky, and lean to the side. Don't lean forward. Go at your own pace again. Use that right hand to give you a little stability. Make space down the left side body, lifting the ribcage away from the hip. One more. And we'll switch sides. Placing the left hand on the left thigh, right hand to the sky, and now tilt your body towards the left. Think about the elongating side and not the crunching side. Think about the space that you're making. The other side will automatically collapse the ribcage towards the hip bone, but we want to think about the stretching side. Last one. And release. Going into our rotation move here, let's go into empty coat sleeves. Swing one arm forward, the other arm back, and switch. Start to gently turn the upper body with that motion of the arms. Keep your hips stationary. Don't lock out your knees though. Keep your knees a little soft. And if you want to add a little bigger motion of those arms, engage the abdominal muscles whenever you rotate. Protect the low back. One more each arm. And return to center. Come back to your mountain feet, so the feet are directly underneath your hips, tennis ball distance between your big toes, tall spine, and we're going to walk in place. So lift one leg up and then the other. You can swing the arms if you want. So this is just an alternating one-legged mountain, right? A balance pose that we incorporate sometimes in the practice. That's all walking is, alternating one-legged balance. Let's take it in slow motion, as if you're picking up the feet through mud. You've got some big old galoshes on and they're stuck in the mud. Even slower. Take that right knee up and freeze. Release. Take the left knee up and freeze. And release. Good work, my friends. We're going to go into a half forward fold and then a full forward fold. But on the full forward fold, we're going to use the chair so that we have a little place to rest our head and see how that feels. Let's start with half forward fold without a prop. Inhale, scoop the air up. Exhale, fold from the hips. Land your hands on your thighs. Make the letter L with your body. Draw the shoulders down. If you want, you can take one more step below the knees, resting your hands just below the knees. Put a beverage on the back of your neck, lining up the neck with the rest of the spine. Push your hips back to stretch the backs of the legs, but wiggle the knees just a tad so you're not locking out those knees. One more breath cycle. Bend your knees. Head comes up last. Slowly roll up and roll the shoulders back. Now we'll go into full forward fold, but we're going to use the chair so that we can land our head on the chair seat. We're not going to put pressure on it, so if your chair doesn't have a cushion on it like mine, no worries. We're just going to barely touch the head. So stand right in front of your chair seat. Inhale, scoop the arms up. Once again, exhale, fold from the hips. Land your hands on the sides of the chair seat. And now bow your head, look towards your knees, and bring the crown of the head to the chair seat. You can keep your hands where they are, or you can slide the hands down the legs. Relax the shoulders. Push your hips back, but wiggle the knees. Don't lock them out. And we've got a nice stretch in the backs of the legs and supporting the head here. Close your eyes if you like, and take 2 more breath cycles. Bend your knees, slowly lifting up, head comes up last. Roll those shoulders back when you get to the top. Good work, my friends. We're going to keep the chair over there. It's not going to be in the way, but we're going to go into a 4-layer cake. These are some moves that elevate the heart because they work the big muscles in the lower body. 4 layers. One of the layers is a warrior 2, so you're going to be stepping your left leg off to the left for your warrior 2. So just make sure that you're standing far enough to the right so that you've got room to make that left step. But we're starting with a forward step. Left leg is going to move. Place your hands behind your low back to roll those shoulders open, broadening the chest. Bearing the weight on the right foot, let your left heel become light, step it forward, land the foot, and then push through the foot, coming back to mountain. Second time, forward with that left foot, push and come back to mountain, balancing when you come back. Last time, forward, push, and return. Now we're going to add a chair squat, another pose in yoga that generates a lot of cardio because the muscle of the heart has to pump blood to the muscles of the legs. Forward, push back, Sink down, chair squat, tuck your tail, arms can come forward if you like, and then rise up, mountain. Second time, forward, push through the foot, sink the hips, tuck your tail, rise up, mountain. One more time, forward with that left foot, push, sink down, tuck your tail, rise up, mountain. Now we're going to add on that warrior two pose after coming up out of chair. Step forward, push through the foot, sink the hips, tuck your tail, rise up, lift up your left foot, turn the knee out and step wide, bending that left knee, straighten the right leg, push the right shoulder back and make a T. Warrior two. Soften both knees, sink back to center. Once again, forward, push back, sink your hips, chair squat, tucking the tail, rise up, lift your left foot, direct it to the left, and set your T shape. Soften the knees, push back to center. One more time. Forward, push back, sink into chair squat, Utkatasana, rise up, pick up that left foot, direct it to the left, make your T, Virabhadrasana 2, soften the knees, step it back. All right, adding on triangle pose. You can make it a baby triangle or a full triangle. You pick. Step forward, push, come back and sink into your chair squat, rise up, pick up your left foot, direct it to the left, make a T, and now straighten your left knee, tilt your body down towards the left leg. You can stay here, baby triangle, or sink down into a deeper triangle. You pick. One more breath cycle. Bend both knees and direct it back to center. Second time, forward lunge. Push back, chair squat, tuck your tail. Rise up, step wide, warrior two. Make a T. Straighten that left knee, tilt the body, baby triangle or a deeper triangle. Soften the knees and back to center. Last time. Forward, push back, chair squat, tuck your tail, rise up, send that left foot left, make a T, straighten the knee, and tilt into triangle. Breathe, soften the knees, and come back to center. Shift it over to the to the left, and now we'll be moving to the right with our warrior two when we get to level 3. But let's start with level 1. Hands behind your back, going into forward lunge with the right leg. Bear the weight through the left. Step forward, push through the foot, come back. Second time, step forward, push and return. Third time, step forward, push and return. Now going into our chair squat. Step forward, push and return. Sink the hips, tuck your tail, rise up. Second time, push forward, push back, sink into chair squat, tuck your tail, and rise up. One more time. Forward, push back into your chair squat, and rise up. Now adding warrior two. So think about all these big muscles that we keep moving. Heart's pumping blood to those big muscles. Forward, push back, chair squat, tuck your tail, rise up, lift your right heel, turn the knee to the right, step wide, set up your warrior two with those T arms, soften both knees, and come back to center. Forward lunge, push back into chair squat, tuck your tail, rise up, orient your right foot off to the right, set up your warrior two, soften both knees, and return. One more time. Forward, push back, chair squat, tuck your tail, rise up, send the right foot to the right, set up your warrior two, beautiful, soft knees, and return. Adding our last layer, heart rate's elevated a little bit, I hope so. Step forward, push back, chair squat, tuck your tail, rise up, turn the right foot to the right, set up your warrior two, and now triangle pose. Straighten both knees, tilt the body down towards the right leg, baby triangle or deeper triangle, you pick. Soften both knees and shift it back. Second time, forward. Push back into your chair squat, tuck your tail, rise up, send the right foot off to the right, set up that warrior two, beautiful. Straighten both knees, tilt into triangle, your variation. Soften both knees and step it together. Last time, last cake, last layer, last one. Forward, chair squat, tuck the tail, rise up, warrior two. Straighten both knees, triangle. Soften both knees, step it together, and walk it out. Come back to center. And we're going to goddess squat here. Again, big muscles. Heart's going to be pumping blood to those big muscles of the lower body. Step wide on your mat. Externally rotate. Toes out, heels in. Find your balance. Imagine the wall behind you. And let's set up our cactus arms. Push the elbows back. Slide down the wall and lift back up. Twice more. Slide down the wall. Lift up. Slide down the wall, lift up. Now let's stay in our goddess squat. Release the hands to the thighs. Imagine there's apple trees above us. We're going to take the right hand and reach over to the left to pick up an apple. But make sure you also lift the right heel as you pick your apple and put it in your bucket. And then other side, left heel reaches as you reach to the right. Do that again, keeping those heels lifting as you reach to the alternate side of your body. Picking up those apples and putting them in your bucket. One more each arm. Rise up from your goddess squat and step your feet together. All right, now we're going to do some really fun cardio. So if you've ever taken a high intensity interval training class, they do this exercise called a burpee. Believe it or not, you can do a yoga burpee. It's not quite the same. We're not going to be jumping up and down because that's too much weight on the feet with bare feet. But we have the option to jump into plank. I'll not show it on the first time, but I'll show it on the third time. We're only going to do 4, and we're not going to do a push-up in our burpee. We're going to do a down dog. And we're going to use a chair. All good options, right? So come behind your chair seat again. And we'll start with a forward fold, just like a regular burpee does. Inhale, scoop the air up. Exhale, but we're not going all the way to the floor. We're going to go to the chair seat. Hands to the chair seat. And now step one foot at a time back into your plank. Lift up through the shoulders. And now exhale, hips over your heels, coming into down dog on the chair. Inhale back into your plank. Step one foot at a time forward. Slowly roll up. Lift those arms up to the sky, and we'll do it a second time. Exhale, fold from the hips. Land your hands on the chair seat. Step the feet back one at a time. Push the heels back, lift up through the shoulders. Exhale, hips over your heels, ears close to the arms. Inhale, back into your plank. One at a time, bring those feet forward. Soft knees, roll it up, arms up overhead. This time I'll offer the option, instead of stepping into your plank, you could hop. If that doesn't feel good for your feet, then keep it gentle and step back into plank. I'll cue both. Exhale, fold from the hips, land your hands on your chair seat. Soften both knees if you're gonna hop. Or you can step back one at a time, or do a little hop. Push your heels back, lift up through the shoulders. Exhale, hips over your heels, down dog. Inhale, forward back into plank. Bend both knees. You can step forward one at a time, or you can add that little hop again. Slowly lift up, reaching those hands up. You only got one more. Exhale, fold from the hips. Land your hands on the chair. You can step back one at a time, or soften both knees and hop back. Push the heels back, lift through the shoulders. Exhale, hips over your heels. Down dog. Inhale, forward back into your plank. Soften both knees. And now you can step forward one at a time, or add a little hop. Slowly lift back up. Roll those shoulders back. And that's your yoga burpee. It wasn't that crazy, right? foot. Generated a little heat in the body, and you're working that beautiful heart muscle. Let's go into camel pose, a nice stretch for opening the upper body, the heart center. And we'll do it 3 times, changing the hands each time. First time, gentle fists. Just close your fingers into the palms of your hands, wrap the thumbs, but don't overly clench. Place the knuckles at the top of the pelvis, rib cage up, shoulders down. We'll take 1 breath cycle in camel. Come into your camel, take 1 breath cycle, and release. Shake it out. Second time, we'll change the hands. Thumbs come to the top of the pelvis. 4 fingers wrap. There's the back view. Rib cage up, shoulders down. Come into your camel, take 1 breath cycle. And return to stand tall. Release the hands, shake it out. Last time, 4 fingers pointing downwards at the top of the pelvis. Thumbs wrap around the side. Back view. Rib cage up, shoulders down. Come into your camel, take 1 breath cycle. And release. Give everything a shake. We're going to go into our balance pose, which today is another opening for the front body, dancer pose. And we're adding twisted dancer. If you need support on this pose, I want you to not have the support at the side, I want you to have it in front. So you can either face the wall, or I'll show it with the chair just in front of me so that you can see me. I'll show it with and without the chair. So you'll see my hand come off the chair, and then you'll see my hand on the chair as well. So we're going to bear the weight on our right leg, and we're going to start with dancer, which means left hand to left foot. Let's start in mountain pose with prayer hands. Shoulder blades into the back pockets. Bear the weight strongly through the right foot. Let your left heel become light and float the left foot. Bring the knees together. You can stay here, option 1, or you might want to put that hand right onto the chair from the get-go. That's okay. Listen to your body. You pick. Next step is to reach back with that left hand and connect left hand to left foot and bring those knees back together. If you need to, place the right hand on the back of your chair or on the wall. Or it can remain at your torso. Or you can take the next step and you can lift that right hand up to the sky. Don't watch it go by. Go behind your peripheral vision. That helps your balance. Breathe. And now the final expression of dancer is to start to push that left foot into the left hand, reaching forward with your right hand. Maybe now you need to set your hand on your chair. Go ahead. You can. Or you can reach towards me through the screen. We're holding hands. Breathe. We're going to transition to twisted dancer, trying to keep that left foot up in the air, come back to vertical, and now pass the foot into your right hand. Maybe now you need to put your left hand on your chair. That's okay. Or you can lift your left arm up to the sky. You can stay here. You can start to progress, pushing that left foot into the right hand, reaching your left hand forward, or maybe it's on the chair. 1 more breath cycle, twisted dancer. Lift up and release. Ooh, feel the energy in that right leg from stabilizing you. All right, we're going to do dancer and twisted dancer on the opposite side. Breathe. Find your mountain with prayer hands. Draw those shoulder blades into your back pockets. Bear the weight on your left. Let your right heel become light. Float the foot off the earth and bring your knees together. If you need to, place a hand on your chair back or on the wall. Or, next progression, take your right hand and connect it to your right foot. Bring the knees back together. Option, that left hand could be at your torso or on your prop. Or that left hand could reach up to the sky, balancing stick. Breathe. You can stay here, or you can take that final step, pushing the right foot into the right hand, easing the body forward, stretching those fingertips towards me, holding my hand through the screen. Breathe. 1 more breath cycle. And we're going to take it to twisted dancer. So lift back up, We're going to pass the foot off into the left hand. Maybe you need to immediately find your chair like I did. That's okay. But then once you're there, maybe you can take your hand off of the chair. Maybe lift it up to the sky. Reaching forward, push that right foot into the left hand. Twisted dancer. Breathe. One more breath cycle. Release. Ooh, good work, my friends. We are done with the chair, so I'm going to move it out of the way. And we're going to take it down to the mat. The remaining poses will be down on the mat. So if you want to move your device down to the floor, either to a stack of books or directly to the floor, you can. And then join me lying on your belly on the mat. We are going to go into a couple prone poses here. So lying on your belly, thinking about opening that heart space again. So placing your hands directly under your shoulders, we're going to go into Cobra 3 times. Press the pubic bone into the mat. When you lift your chest off the mat, think about that pencil between your shoulder blades. You're going to want to pinch it. Press the toenails into the mat. Take one breath cycle to prepare in and out. Next, inhale, lift your chest and pinch the pencil between your shoulder blades. Lengthen the spine. Press the pubic bone into the mat. One more breath cycle. And release. Hands below your face. Rest and pose. We're going to do 2 more cobras, and we're going to be adding a rotation. So once again, hands below your shoulders. Press the pubic bone into the mat. Toenails are flat on the mat. Take a breath cycle to prepare in and out. Next, inhale, lift the chest and turn towards the left. Breathe, long spine. One more breath cycle. And release, hands beneath your face, resting pose. Last one, twisting the opposite way. Place your hands beneath your shoulders. Press the pubic bone, relax the toes onto the mat. One breath cycle to prepare in and out. Next, inhale, lift the chest and turn to the right. Long spine, press the pubic bone. One more breath cycle. And release, push back into child's pose. Pushing your hips back. If this bothers your knees, lift your hips up a little bit for a smaller amount of flexion, or if it's okay, you can push your hips all the way back. Crawl those hands towards the top of the mat, getting a stretch through the shoulders and the upper back. Bow the head. One more breath cycle. Inhale, lift it up. And we're going to go into hands and knee poses. So if you need some support under your knees, a little cushion, you can use a towel or a knee pad, a gardening pad. And then set up your table pose. Big stars with your hands, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, toenails relaxed onto the mat, and we go into cat and cow. Exhale, round your back, open the shoulder blades, inhale, reverse the curve, drop the belly, and pinch a pencil between your shoulder blades. Go at your own pace between cat and cow now. If you want that deeper range of motion, bend the elbows between the poses. Exaggerate the motion, keeping that spine flexible and youthful. One more pattern, cat and cow. And then return to neutral spine as we go into our puppy stretch. Crawl the hands to the top of the mat, long arms. Draw the ears down between the arms. Lift through the armpits and melt the heart. Take 2 breath cycles here. Lift the chest. Draw the hands back underneath the shoulders. And we're going to go into a strength series here on our hands and knees that includes a side plank, a half moon, maybe even a toe side plank if you want. Let's start with a knee side plank though. Take your right foot, kick it off towards the right, and step your left foot to the bottom of your mat. Place your right hand in the center of your mat as you drop the left heel down and lift your left arm up to the sky. Breathe. I'm going to adjust because I'm going to hit some furniture here. There we go, now I've got some space. You can stay here, or you can take the next progression here. The next series is going into a low version of half moon. So start with your hand on your hip, and now flex your left foot and float it up off the earth. Maybe just an inch, maybe halfway. Maybe you can get that foot all the way up to the height of the hip. Maybe you want to extend that left arm back up to the sky, low version of half moon, using that core strength. Don't sink onto your right shoulder. Lift. Look at something that doesn't move. We're going to add a balance component here, sugar cane. You don't have to. You can put the foot back down, go back into knee side plank, or place that left hand on your hip, bend the left knee, and reach back and grab the foot for half sugar cane. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And now we're going to come back into our knee side plank, extending that foot down. Breathe. Option if you want, we're going to go into a side plank on the feet or stay on the knee. You pick. And then we only have one other option after that, and that is to extend the arm over the head. So if you want, come into a full version of side plank, and then extend the arm over the ear. Breathe. You can stay on the knee. One more breath cycle. Both hands to the mat, both knees to the mat. Child's pose. Roll out your right wrist. We'll do a wrist stretch after we finish the second side. One more breath cycle. And lift back up into table. I'm turning so that you can see the poses from the side with me facing you. Come back into your table pose. Kick your left foot off to the left edge of the mat. Send your right foot back behind you and place your left hand in the middle of the mat as you drop that right heel down to the mat and lift your right arm up to the sky. Coming into knee side plank, second side. Lift up through that left shoulder, don't collapse. Taking the next step, the next progression into our strength, low version of half moon. Bring the hand to the hip as we set up the leg. Flex that right foot as you float it off the mat, maybe an inch, maybe halfway, maybe you can get it up to the height of the hip. Keep lifting through that left hand, maybe take the right arm back up. Breathe, core strength, stability through the shoulder. One more breath cycle. You can come back into knee side plank, bringing that foot all the way down, or set the hand on the hip, bend the knee, and then reach back with the right hand, pulling that heel towards your bottom, coming into half sugar cane pose. Breathe. Find your balance. Look at something that doesn't move. One more breath cycle. And we're going to go back into knee side plank. So set the foot down, extend the arm back up. Our final expression of this sequence is to go into the arm over the ear pose, either from the pose you're in now, knee side plank, or coming into the full version of side plank. And then the arm comes over the ear, lift up through that shoulder. One more breath cycle. Hand to the mat, both knees to the mat. Child's pose. Roll out your left wrist. Strength series there, my friends. Feel that heart pumping blood to those strong muscles. We're going to finish with a wrist stretch here before we come into seated poses. So place your hands with the backs of the hands on the mat, fingers slightly interlaced, and now your elbows are going to open out to the sides. You can be sitting back on your heels or your hips can be elevated, either one. And now bend the elbows to the side and straighten all the way up. That's where you get the stretch. Bend to the side, straighten. Last time, bend to the side, straighten. Release your hands to the mat, and we're going to set our bottoms on the mat. We're done with our knee pads. We can move it out of the way and come into easy sit. Sukhasana. Sit tall. Doesn't matter which foot is in front right now. We'll switch it in a moment. But let's start with just some nice controlled breathing, because remember, one of the benefits to our heart in our yoga practice is the breath control. So we're going to go into a pattern of 1 to 2. So 1 count on the inhale, 2 counts on the exhale. And then we'll go the same ratio, but we'll change it to 2 and 4. So we'll do 4 total. 2 of them, 1 and 2, and then 2 more breaths, 2 and 4. You can close your eyes if you like. You won't hear me exhaling. I'll be doing the counting. So relax your shoulders, lift your rib cage, and now we'll begin. Take an inhale for 1, exhale 2, 1. Do that again. Inhale for 1, exhale 2, 1. Now increasing to 2 and 4. Inhale 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time. Inhale 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Return to normal breath pattern. And we'll go into potted palm. So interlace your hands in front of your chest. Inhale, lift those arms up. If you have any shoulder restrictions, stop where it's right for your body. So you may not lift higher than your forehead. Or maybe you can come up a little bit higher. If your shoulders are okay, then bring those palms all the way up over the crown of your head. Elbows open to the side. For the optional wrist stretch, flip the palms to face up. Potted palm. Tall spine. Breathe. One more breath cycle. Flip the palms, bring them back in front of your chest. Look at your hands. Whichever pinky finger is on the bottom, switch it. And now change the leg that's in front. This will be your non-dominant side, so it may feel a little less flexible. We'll do potted palm a second time. Inhale, lift the arms up. Again, be mindful of your shoulders. Stop wherever you need to. If you can, bring the palms up above the crown of your head. Push the elbows open. If you want the wrist stretch, flip the palms to face up. Potted palm. Keep lifting through the rib cage. Tall spine. One more breath cycle. Flip the palms to face down. Bring the pinkies all the way down to touch the earth. Bow the head, look at the pinkies, and then release and roll the shoulders back. We're going to go into windshield wipers now. A little mobility for the hips. So plant the feet flat, a little bit wider than your hips. And bring your hands behind you so you can recline slightly. And then start that motion of windshield wipers. Both knees going to one side and then both going to the other side. Rolling through those gluteal muscles. Little baby stretches for the thighs. Pause at center. And we're going to take this to half windshield wipers. So walk the feet together. Cross your right thigh over the left. And now we use the right leg to pull the left leg towards the right. You won't go as far. And come back to center. Do that a few times at your own pace. Add just a little bit more enhancement to the stretch by using that right leg as leverage. One more. And uncross the thighs to switch. And now we'll use the left leg to pull the right leg towards the left. Just a very small windshield wiper motion, much smaller than our full windshield wipers with both legs. One more. Pause, release that pose, Go ahead and send both legs forward, and we'll do some stretches here. Move the fleshy part of your bottoms away from your sits bones to sit tall in Dandasana. And then we'll go into half Lord of the Fishes. Draw that right foot in, step it across, sit tall, turn and hug the knee into your body. Open your heart space by taking your right hand behind you. Breathe. We're just going to add a couple of neck stretches here. So turn your head to look over your right shoulder, away from your device, and then turn your head to look over your left shoulder. Do that one more time. Turn to look over the right, turn to look over the left. Face front and take that right foot across to tuck it next to the inner left leg. Adjust the foot position for your knee flexion, less flexion, more flexion, you pick. Sit tall, going into head to knee pose. Fold from the hip crease. Let your hands come just below that left knee. Draw the elbows down. Reach your head towards your left toes. Targeting the stretch in the right side body, the outer thigh, the hip, and the low back. Now let's open up that heart space again. Take your right arm as if you're hugging someone, and then lift that elbow up. Maybe you come up a few inches. Maybe you can come up a little bit higher than your head. Maybe you can bring that elbow all the way over the head. Opening that heart space towards the right. Stretching that low back muscle, the QL. One more breath cycle. Bring that elbow back down. Take that right arm across the opposite leg and add a little pressure into the outer calf area. And then release. Sit tall, and we'll do that. Those two poses on the other side. Half Lord of the Fishes and head to knee pose. Draw that left foot in, step it across. Sit tall, turn and hug the knee into the body. And then that rotation, that spinal rotation. And now open the heart space by taking the left hand and resting it on the mat behind you. Adding the gentle neck motion here. Turn to look over your left shoulder, looking towards the back of the room that you're in. And then turn to look over your right shoulder. Do that one more time. Turn to look over your left shoulder. Turn to look over your right shoulder. Face the front. And now we'll come out of half Lord of the Fishes to go into head to knee pose. Take that left foot to the inner right leg. Adjust for your knee flexion. Sit tall. Fold from the hip crease. Let your hands come just below the knee. Draw the elbows down. Reach your head towards the right toes. Breathe. Check in with your left side body, the outer thigh, the hip, and the low back. Feel that stretch. And now let's enhance the stretch with the variation called rotation. Take that left arm as if you were hugging someone in front of you. Start to elevate the elbow. Honor your body. Stop when you need to. If you can, bring that elbow all the way up above the head. Opening the heart space to the left. Breathe. Stretching that QL muscle. One more breath cycle. Start to lower the elbow and take that left hand to the outer right leg, pressing against the outer calf area. One breath cycle here. Release the pressure and slowly lift up out of the pose. Send that leg forward, give it a shake. And we're going to finish our practice today lying on our back. So go ahead any way you want to lie down onto your back. And keep your knees bent. So if you want, you can do a slow roll down, engaging those abdominal muscles. Or you can assist your body down using your elbows. Once you're down on the mat, go ahead and adjust your body so that we can go into our bridge sequence, another heart opener. So let's set up our position of our feet first. Can your fingertips touch your heels? If not, see if you can walk your heels a little closer to your bottoms and then see if they can touch. And now relax the palms flat on the mat. We'll start with just the tilting. Relax the toes. Don't try to overly flex the toes. Let the pads of the toes rest on the mat. Imagine there's a small balloon between your knees, so your knees are not touching. And now let's add the stability with our pressure points. Press the upper arms down. Press the feet down. Press on your imaginary balloon. Tilt the pelvis as you inhale, but don't lift. And then exhale, relax all the pressure points. We'll do that twice more. Press the arms, press the feet, press the balloon. Inhale, tilt the pelvis, keep the bottom on the mat, and then exhale, relax all the pressure points. One more time without lifting. Press the arms, press the feet, press the balloon. Inhale, tilt, exhale, relax. Now we'll go into a moving bridge. Bring the bottoms up and expanding through the chest, opening the heart space. Press the arms, press the feet, press the balloon. Inhale, tilt the pelvis, keep lifting those hips up, open through the chest, and then exhale, lower down and relax the pressure points. Twice more. Press the upper arms, press the feet, press the balloon. Inhale, lift the hips, open the chest, exhale, lower down. Relax the pressure. One more time. Press the arms, press the feet, press the balloon. Inhale, lift. Open the chest. Exhale, lower down and relax the pressure. Now we'll go into a held bridge, a static bridge. Press the arms, press the feet, press the balloon. Inhale, lift. Stay here, keep breathing. Breathe, press those upper arms. And now I want you to squeeze your glutes 8 times. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the bottoms and relax the pressure. Hug your knees, add a little sway. Massage the back body. We're going to go into open belly twist here, but we're going to do it with just a single leg. So plant the feet back down onto the mat, and then extend your left leg long, keeping the right leg bent. Your hands could rest on your belly. You can come into cactus arms, or you can extend the arms into a T, whatever is comfortable to you. And now draw that right leg across the body. You can let the big toe stay on the mat, or you can even let the big toe rest on the left leg. Keep your right shoulder connected to the mat. Open belly twist variation with a single leg. If you want to add a deeper hip stretch here, you can take your left hand, reach down for that right thigh, and just give it a little pull towards your chest, enhancing the stretch across the gluteus maximus muscle. Breathe. One more breath cycle. Release the hand from the leg and return to the center position and straighten that right leg out so we can switch sides. Bend your left knee. Make a nice connection, low back to your mat. And now start to draw that left leg across your body to the right. You can keep that big toe resting on the mat, or you can bring the foot to rest on the right leg. Keep that left shoulder connected to the mat. Don't let it roll up. As you roll towards the right, don't let your left shoulder roll towards the right as well. If you want to add that little variation, enhancing the stretch across the gluteus maximus, you can reach down with your right hand, grab the left thigh, and then just pull that thigh up towards your body. One more breath cycle. Release the hand from the thigh. Inhale back to center. Bend both knees. Readjust your low back. And then hug those knees into your body. Add a little sway of that wisdom. We're going to a stretch here for the digestive system and the low back, called Apanasana. Glue the knees together. Place the hands on the knees. Your big toes can touch as well. And now start to push and pull the knees in and out from the body. Your feet stay floating. And this massages the organs of the digestive system. Great pose if you've had something to eat that doesn't sit well with you and you're feeling bloated or gassy. This is a great pose for those situations. Pause the motion. We're going to do two variations of this pose. The first one is to stir the legs with the knees glued together. So keep the knees and the big toes glued together and start to stir the knees. As you make the circle with your knees, you'll make that same circle on your low back. So it's also massaging the low back. Pause and reverse. Pause and hug the knees in. Now we'll do the second variation, and that's stirring the knees with the knees unglued. So go ahead and separate the knees, push the knees out to the side and away, and then draw the knees back down to center. So it's like you're stirring in mirror images, two separate pots. Also opening through the inner thighs here. Pause with your knees drawn in towards your body. We're going to reverse the circles. So this time, push the knees straight away first, then open and draw into the chest. Continue those mirror image circles in the opposite direction. A few more breath cycles. One more. And hug the knees into your chest. Send those feet down to the mat and lengthen the body. Going into banana stretch here. A nice side body stretch. Also stretching through that heart center. So bring your arms overhead. In fact, let's take a full body stretch to start. Inhale, send your fingertips as far away from your toes as you can. Exhale, yawn. Do that one more time. Inhale, fingers away from the toes. Exhale, yawn. And now let's start with the lower body. Walk both feet to the bottom left corner of your mat and cross your right ankle on top of the left. And now pick up your head just an inch and shift your shoulders and head to the top left corner of your mat and grab the right wrist with your left hand and give it an extra little resistance there. And we're stretching all the way down the right side body, creating a banana shape with our body. From the arm, the armpit, the latissimus dorsi, the waistline, the hip, the thigh. One more breath cycle. Release the wrist. Shift the head and shoulders back to the center. Uncross the ankles and shift the legs back to center. And we'll take that banana stretch to the other side. Walk both feet to the bottom right corner of your mat and cross the left ankle over the right. Pick up your head to shift your head and shoulders over to the top right corner of your mat and grab the left wrist with your right hand and give it a little extra resistance there. Close your eyes. Feel that deep stretch all the way down the left side body. One more breath cycle. Release the wrist. Pick up the head and shoulders back to center. You can release your arms back down alongside your body now. Uncross your ankles and shift your legs back to center. I'm going to finish with just two more poses here. Round ankle and happy baby. Let's do happy baby first. Then we'll finish with round ankle. So draw both knees back into your chest. Separate your knees and feet wide. Flex the feet and let the soles of the feet look up at the ceiling. Crawl your hands up to either your shins, your ankles, your big toes, or wrap the fingers to the soles of the feet and then draw those bent knees towards your armpits. Relax your shoulders down. Relax your hips as if they are falling back into the mat, even though they are slightly elevated. Close your eyes. You can stay here. Let those hips feel heavy, or you can add a gentle sway. Stretching through the hips, the low back, and the inner thighs. One more breath cycle. Pause the motion if you added that sway. Bring your hands to the mat, one at a time. Bring your feet to the mat. And now go into bound angle pose. Walk the insides of the feet together, and then lower the knees to the sides. Bring the soles of the feet to touch. Your low back will become a little bit elevated off the mat, a little spinal extension, a little baby back bend here. So we'll complement that with one more pose at the end before we go into relaxation. You can rest your hands on your thighs. Close your eyes. Feel that nice stretch through the inner thigh and groin muscles. Relax your tailbone to the mat. Take 2 more breath cycles. And we're going to come out of this pose, so place your hands on the outsides of your thighs to close the knees back together. Hug the knees into the chest one more time to release that little spinal extension that we were in. And now let's come into our relaxing pose. It could be that you want to stay here. You could come into corpse pose with long legs, palms open to the sky. You could keep the knees bent and let the knees rest against each other. Wherever you are, place your hands once again on your heart, the same way we started our practice today. And now don't look at your screen anymore. Don't turn your head. Just relax your body into the mat. Relax your shoulders, even with your hands at your heart. Connect to your heartbeat again. Slow your breathing. And let's take 3 more deep breath cycles. And now wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. We're going to come back to a seated pose. So you can either do a sit-up, bending your knees and do a sit-up, or take it easy on yourself. Roll to your side and push into the earth to come back to a seated pose. You can sit with your legs extended, or you can come back into your cross-legged pose if that's comfortable to you. Relax the shoulders, spine is tall. Hopefully you enjoy our heart-centered practice today, that little baby cardio, as well as some nice de-stressing breathing and stretching. Let's finish with our quote, which is from an author named Anthony D'Angelo, and it's about the heart, of course. And he wrote, "Smile. It is the key that fits the lock of everyone's heart." So use your smiles, my friend. Unlock everyone's heart with smiles and love. And I hope you enjoyed our practice today, our heart-centric practice. Have a great week, and